Good afternoon, curling fans from Belleville and around the world. Welcome to TSL's coverage of the BrokerLink Mixed 2019 Provincial Championships, coming to you live from the Quinte Curling Club. My name is Barb Williamson, and I'm joined by Rebecca Wickershire, a three-time junior mixed participant. Welcome, Rebecca.
Thanks so much, Barb. Really excited to be back here with the TSL crew here at the beautiful Quinte Curling Club. Everyone's been really welcoming here so far, and we're excited to get this event underway. Our feature sheet this afternoon is going to be sheet 2. So we have Team Bowser just finishing up their practice now to the Thornhill Curling Club throwing the red stones. Skip by Don Bowser, third Danielle Inglis, second Sean Harrison, and lead Lauren Harrison. They're going up against Team Villard from the Galt Curling Club. They'll be throwing the yellow stones. Skip by Damien Villard, third Melissa Gannon, second Dwayne Linder, and lead Kim Gannon.
Well, it looks like we're going to be in for a great game. We have 3 other sheets actually in play today too. How about those feature matchups?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got an 8-team field here this week, and it should be a great show. Sheet 1 has Wayne Tuck versus John Bolton. Over on sheet 3, we've got Corey Hegestead versus Kathy Ald. And sheet 4, we'll see Dave Collier up against John Buke. So, as we said, great showing here this week.
Really interesting field. You know, we have some new teams new to this event, and some repeat business.
Some of the staples of the mixed field here in Ontario, absolutely.
Including the
past
2018 champs.
Yes, absolutely. They're going to be on our feature sheet here this afternoon, so we're in for a treat.
Yeah, even though we announced the Team Bowser, he is the lone difference on this team. The other 3 are the current Canadian champions.
Yes, absolutely. They'll be heading to the World Mixed Championships in Kelowna, I believe, this coming October. So excited that, and looking to defend their Ontario title here this week.
Yeah, it's very, very good for them to be back. It's been quite a busy season for them, and I know Danielle had a great success at the Scotties and played in the final. So she's had quite a year.
Absolutely, bit of a whirlwind, I'm sure. I think she was out in Pyeongchang for the Olympics, and she's been all around this year, so very exciting year.
It was funny when she was filling out her bio sheet, she said, "Curling is my life." Like, I don't have time for anything else. So they're just finishing up their draw to the button here, and of course the draw to the button before every game, and that determines last rock advantage in the first end. And in these short 8 end games, it makes a big difference. And I think you'd probably agree that when it was 10 ends, you know, even though it was important, it's certainly a lot more critical now in these short 8 end games.
Oh, certainly. You've got a lot less chances in an 8-end game to get that hammer, so opening up with it really lets you kind of dictate how this game was going to start off.
So Donnie just drew to the back of the back 8 foot. So I'm not really sure where Villard's draw to the button ended up, but I guess we're going to find out right quickly here who has the hammer. Now the draw to the button, as I mentioned, happens before every game, and it's not always the same person. You can't just get your skip out there all the time throwing a draw to the button. Every player has to throw at least 1. And those scores are accumulated throughout the 7 games that they're going to play, and could end up being quite an important factor at the end of the day if there are tiebreakers.
Absolutely. So we're going to have a 3-team playoff once the round robin's all said and done, and it can really help determine who makes it into that semifinal game, which is going to be crucial. So very important stones.
And they take it seriously. I know there are a lot of events now that copy this format, where they take the draw to the button and they start every event with it now, even Bonspiels, because of the importance of it when you do get to play downs and competitive play. So.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, just watching the last 2 Worlds, like Jennifer Jones won the draw to the button, I think, in almost every game. I think she only missed it 2 out of 13 games. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's what a stat. And they practice those shots day in and day out to be able to get that. So it looks like
Bowser did get the last rock advantage. So we're underway here.
Bit of a lineup change, I think, for Team Villard since we saw them at the beginning. So Melissa's going to be throwing the lead stones. Kimberly's playing vice.
Yep, go. That's good.
So there's the players are, the two skips are wearing mics, so we will be able to hear them calling the play, and whenever they're having some team discussions as the game goes on, we'll tune in and let our viewers hear what their strategy calls are all about.
Absolutely. Pretty defensive start to this first end, as you'd probably expect. It's the first game of this event, and the teams are just kind of learning the ice, so Team VILLARD going into the 8-foot with their foot first stone and just going to throw some hits back and forth here.
Yeah, they'll keep it clean, get used to the paths. That's another thing about the draw to the button that we've observed, is that they're so focused on the draw path to the button, and they each have to throw a different turn, that they don't really play takeouts in their 7-minute practice. And so this is really a good the first opportunity they've had to see what takeout weight is going to do in the various paths.
Absolutely.
So I imagine this end's going to go very quickly. They have 30 minutes of playing time, I believe, and this will save a lot of time on the clock for them.
Certainly.
Literally only use seconds.
Yes, exactly. You used to see teams in the olden days, before we switched to thinking time, they would use these type of defensive ends to try and bank some time, just because the hits go down quicker. But being decisive in your shot calling is really what makes a difference now.
And they've played each other before, these teams. I mean, some of them played against each other in their respective play downs, and so they know.
Yes.
They know each other.
Yes, we even saw some hugs instead of handshakes at the beginning of the game here. So that's great to see. As we said at the start, some of these teams, staples of the mixed field here in Ontario, and some of them all know each other very well.
So it looks like it'd be interesting to see if they use some of this, the one sweeper strategy. I see right here that Damien called on Kim to be the lone sweeper there to try and get a little bit of finish on that rock. So what do you think about directional sweeping? What are your thoughts on it? Does it work or not?
It's very interesting. I mean, the theory behind it being that as you're sweeping, it's your downstroke that is the more powerful stroke, your push rather than your pull. So you want to utilize the sweeper who's pushing on either side to try and dictate whether you want that rock to curl more or whether you want it to run straighter. And there's been a lot of discussion around that. I've been on teams that have used it. I've been on teams that have not used it. Personally, I think on some sheets with some rocks, with some weights, it does work, and other times it doesn't really do much at all. So I think it's important for the teams just to be consistent with it. Team VILLARD, I think, is a bit of a new team, so they also don't know each other's throws as well. So sometimes getting into directional can be a little tricky. See Melissa trying to make this rock curl here. But again, I think it's pretty team and ice specific.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, because it's I think that on a normal takeout weight shot, it's very ineffective. But perhaps on a draw or anything from board weight and down, that it can have some positive impact.
Yes.
So that was a hit and roll out, and now Team BOWSER will take an opportunity to throw a draw, put it in a spot where they're going to hope it's hard to remove. Actually, he elected to go with the corner. Did he call that short, or?
I think so, actually. Control. They weren't really sweeping it, so it looks like they liked where that went.
So this team, there's a series of playdowns for this event. And Team BOWSER advanced through the central qualifier, which was held in Scarborough, and they went out on the A side.
Yes. Team VILLARD also went out on the A side through the East qualifier. So I think that was kind of what Dawn had hoped for, calling that corner guard. Kim nosed her peel or her hit and roll attempt, so They still have some cover here to draw behind.
This is a good opportunity for Team Bowser with the last rock advantage to bury one behind this corner, even though it's not theirs. So the weight looks close. She does slip to the back of the rings, which is going to allow Team VILLARD to come right down to that. So again, that's a path that they wouldn't have absolutely no idea how it's running because they didn't really concentrate on it when they were making their draw to the button in their practice.
Yeah, some teams during their 7 minutes don't focus as much on the shots to the wings as maybe they could. But Team Bowser threw that guard here, so they've now seen one draw in this path.
Yep. Yep. Hard, 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 hard.
This is really tight.
Good throw.
Just got a little bit more curl than they thought in that spot.
Got caught a little bit.
But he did open up the red stone. It's not all bad. So Danielle's going to play a hit here. I think they want to stay right there. Don't want to group the rocks and set up a double.
Yeah, trying to keep their red stones as far apart from each other as possible.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of takeouts run really, really straight in that spot.
That wasn't a whole lot of weight either.
No. So she rolls out, unfortunately, but that and because of they opened up that back red one, it's now available to be removed.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay close to this, just in case there was a little ledge there. Because Kim's, both of them ran straight, then busted. And even yours and Danielle's didn't get any curl. So it might be fighting coming up. Just like a heavy board.
So some interesting comments there by Damien about how tricky this spot is playing, and it's only the first end.
Exactly. Good discussion because they've seen a lot of rocks here, but it's been different throwers and it's been a lot of different weights as well. So he's kind of trying to figure out what this stone's going to do.
You can clean it. It'll move.
That was really, really good communication, though.
Absolutely.
You know, he probably told the same thing to Kim and said, you know, it could bust here or it might run straight, but he had a lot more weight than anybody else.
Exactly.
He said he was going to throw a board. I think that was a little up.
I think a little bit. Maybe those first rock jitters, sometimes your leg kicks out a little harder than you mean for it to.
And he certainly didn't want to soft it and have it, you know, over curl on him. So opportunity here for Skip Stoos. Still a corner guard, even though it's way over there in the wings.
They contact us and
So you heard Don telling his team what to expect here. He seems to have figured out the break spot is once it curls into the white 8-foot area.
They're on it pretty early.
Wow, they swept that.
Good sweeping.
And
very good sweeping.
Right back. Whoa.
Oh, he's got it through the rings.
Wow.
Wow, look how much ice they're taking. This is a really, really good finish. We're going to be watching this sheet, you know, all throughout this event, and we'll have all the goods on this.
I think so, eh?
We'll know about the rocks. We'll know about the surface itself.
Sure will.
Came up a little bit.
It's a unique perspective to see one sheet all week. We can kind of see if it changes at all the little idiosyncrasies of it.
For sure, and it's you know, most likely will, you know, if the ice holds up, it probably will be the same, and we'll get to see almost every team pass through on this sheet. Now, we should mention also that there's a secondary event going on here when the regular mixed folks are not out on the ice. The senior mixed are playing, so the ice will be, you know, they'll be turning it over 4 times a day.
Yes, it's going to be well used.
So this is the same line that Dawn's went through. Oh my goodness, they let it rub. Probably because it was heavy.
A little bit heavy, I think. Yeah.
Oh, for sure it would have been through.
Yeah. Just hangs on in the back 12 foot there. Makes this blank attempt a little bit easier for Dawn.
Yeah, and I think that red one's far enough out of the circles that even if he comes off the side, there's no risk of him ending up in the paint. Oh, this is the spot where Danielle rolled out.
Yes, back into that straighter spot.
So opportunity here for Bowser to blank the end and maintain the last rock advantage. Well, he's got some big weight on that.
Well done. So blank here in the first end. Team Bowser will keep the hammer going into the second.
I think that's mission accomplished. They got to see some path. Well, definitely on this side of center, they got to see what the ice is doing. They didn't play anything on the other side of center. So we'll see if they check that side out as they're coming back towards the glass here in the second end.
I got a little cut off guard by mine. Go halfway.
So we hear even the skips talking about what they've observed.
Lots of talk. And this is the side of the sheet that wasn't really used last end.
So it's like
now, of course, because they have to throw different turns in their draw to the button, the draw to the button path is probably worn down. But it's when they start throwing those hits down center or anything that outside of the 4 foot line, I think that's where we're going to see where they're going to be learning something. So nice center guard.
Lauren Harrison playing the come around here.
So Lauren is the lead on this team, and they play out of the Thornhill Curling Club, as we mentioned. And they've actually been together for quite a while, this team.
Rules official for the misconduct.
Her hometown is Toronto, and she now lives in Newmarket.
Okay.
Line's good. Where? Okay.
Melissa Gannon throwing lead stones for Team Villard.
Line's really good.
She's from the Ottawa area.
Still Kim's Rock.
Good place to be from.
Absolutely.
As we both are.
Yes. Little biased, maybe.
Very nice draw.
Well done.
Well,
that puts a little bit of pressure on the Bowser team when the dust settles a little bit here and they're able to clear the front. They'll have to deal with that rock. Now she slipped through the rings on her first one, so this one's looking a little hot too.
Yeah, it didn't quite curl enough either with that bit of extra weight, so she'll roll off.
Forward.
She actually made the yellow one better.
Yeah, she tucked it under, fully buried.
So they're not going to leave that red stone there, and I bet probably really like to roll under here. This is curling.
A lot.
Hard. Hard.
Oh my, he might be on his own here.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
That's a tough one.
I think that caught them by surprise. So the lead on this Bowser team is Sean Harrison. And do you know if Lauren and Sean are...
They are. They got married last year.
Did they?
Yes.
Awesome. And he was born in Newmarket and still lives in Newmarket.
Really getting caught in this spot.
Some great sweeping there by the ladies.
Well done.
Try it again. Same weight.
Oh, it looks like he hasn't adjusted the broom much, so I'm thinking perhaps that there was just a bit of tight line on that first one, or maybe
Must
a little
have
start.
been. So this is
Melissa.
Dwayne Linder
Melissa.
throwing second
Melissa.
stones.
Hard. Kim. 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 Kim.
He lives in the Waterloo area.
Okay.
Oh, now he's
Yeah.
on the front again.
Got caught on that one a bit too.
Oh, yeah, violent shot.
Again, he had Melissa on that for a while trying to make it curl, so I think Damien may be just struggling a little bit.
You mentioned
with
that
how
they're a
to call
fairly newer
those.
team.
Yes, they've just started playing together this year. Kim and Melissa, of course, sisters.
So a married couple and sisters.
It's always interesting in mixed play. You get a lot of different relationships out there on the ice.
It's quite different curling with your spouse.
Normal.
Absolutely.
It's challenging, let's put it that way. I don't know why they think you miss on purpose.
Dwayne. Dwayne.
Oh, this is definitely thrown inside.
Hard. Roll it off. Roll it off. That's fine.
So throwing the third stones for the Bowser team is Danielle Inglis. And Danielle was born in Kleinburg. I don't even know where that is.
I'm not sure either.
And she now lives in Whitby. As I mentioned before, she is part of that the Canadian Mixed Championship team, and you mentioned they're playing in Kelowna, and she's written down the dates are October 13th
perfect.
to the 21st. So it's a bit weird with mixed. You earn your title at this time of year, but you don't go to play Canadians until the fall, and now you don't play Worlds until a year later. So they won their Canadian Championship last fall in 2017.
Yes.
So it's a long time to keep a team together, if you think about it.
Sure is. As we said, Mike's not playing this year in this event. They have Dawn skipping.
Yeah, that's
Good
right. So
draw
Mike
there from Danielle.
Anderson is the skip of the Canadian championship team that will be representing Ontario, representing Canada
exactly.
in Kelowna.
Even if we run it this
See,
way.
Don's even wearing his jacket here this week.
Oh, right. I didn't notice that.
So Kim Gannon, as we said, throwing third stones, facing 3 red ones in the house. She lives in Renfrew now in the Ottawa Valley.
Whoa. Dwayne, Dwayne, hard, hard, hard.
Oh, that's
Almost.
too bad. Oh, she got them all out of the forefoot.
Yes.
That's good news.
Oh, well, nice shot.
It's going to be tough here for the VILLARD team to not give up 2 or 3.
Sure is. Don's trying to keep this stone far away from his other red stones. Try and prevent any doubles.
So this event is now an 8-end. They play 8-end games, and that happened a few years ago. You know, that used to be a full 10 event, just like the other championship events. But more and more, I find we're moving away from that. And what do you think? Do you think the Scotties and the Tankard will ever back that off from 10?
I think they might. Most of the slams, all those types of big events are 8 ends now, and it is a lot easier on the players, especially in a long week when you're at a national event. You're playing a lot of games, and sometimes the 10 ends really creeps up on you. If you get a lot of extra ends, you're into 11. You're out there on the ice almost 3.5 hours for a game, so it is a lot different. 8 compared to 10.
For sure.
So
it doesn't sound like much, but it is.
It is. Yeah. Not just for stamina, but also how you call the game, as you mentioned, the hammer in the first end here in an 8-end game making a big difference.
For sure. And if you factor in the practices, so all those slides during practice and those throws, and if there's an extra like you mentioned, it makes for a lot of pushes out of the hack.
Absolutely.
So you hear them continuing to talk about the conditions and the spots on the ice and what they're observing, and that's what it's all about, right? All the great teams are really good communicators.
Absolutely.
Trying to get the landing gear down.
Gee, they just missed the roll on that.
Trying to get it over to that other red stone just in front of Don there.
Not really.
Behind the tee line. Still made it a little bit more difficult for Don to remove, but there you go. I was going to say just looking at nose, but
you don't want to cross it too much, though, because you don't want to send it towards that red one.
Exactly. So has to be a little bit careful here.
So this is Don Bowser, skip of this team for this event. And he's originally from Peterborough, Ontario, and he now also lives in the Ottawa area.
There's a few of us here. Really sweeping this.
Oh, this is really curling. That is an unforced error. Now yellow is sitting first and third.
Yeah, and that yellow's
what a huge
not in a great easy spot to remove.
Wow, just really curled on him. It's quiet, though. It's a real quiet weight.
Yeah, I was expecting maybe a little bit more weight than that. So skip Damien Villard now just trying to draw another one of his yellow stones in. Heard him there looking for the 8-foot to be second shot. Well, Damien from the Renfrew area now lives in Cambridge.
If we can get it in to that edge of the button, I don't think it's going to be easy.
He's just letting his team know where he wants this to end up, so make it as difficult as possible for the Bowser team to get more than one. And maybe make the hit and stick more challenging as well, even for one.
I don't think it's that heavy. You can go back 4.
I don't think it has back 4 weight.
Just don't set up the easy double. It's got to be even. Just got to be even.
Good shot. Danielle wanting the roll.
Yes.
Dawn pointing out it's the last rock. Don't want to roll too far.
No. Just looking to nose that rock, get his single point.
So just looking at the other sheets quickly, on sheet 1, we have a 1-0 score in favor of Team Tuck. On sheet 3, we have a 1-0 score in favor of, who's throwing here? In favor of Team Ald, and a blank on sheet 4 between Team Collier and Team Bolton.
All right. It's a good shot there from Don. He'll score his single point here in the second end. Take a 1-0 lead. Team Villard's going to have the first hammer for the first time in this game in this third end.
Oh, the two skips are quite chatty, aren't they?
They are.
Well, that one even looked like it was going to make an early move, and then it just kind of got over that.
These guys are so precise out there, just watching every path, trying to learn as much as they can.
I think they'll settle in here now. They've pretty much gone across the sheet, and I think you'll see a few more shots made here.
Lauren just biting the top forefoot.
So Damien's going right to the offensive here, and he's going to throw up a corner guard and hopefully set himself up to score 2 or more in this end. So you've seen this spot, and you see Danielle standing right in behind the thrower, just watching the path.
Really good.
Yes.
Just showing what, so that she's able to share with the skip and her teammates, and she's a skip in her own right, so
Absolutely.
would
Good
be well
shot
used
there.
to watching the path
Yes.
of.
Good end.
I'm really bad at it, and Ward's going to get really mad at me. As you know.
Yeah, there's that one straight spot on the sheet, and it looks like to be about a foot outside the center line heading towards the scoreboard. Just got stuck there. Weight was perfect.
Control.
Just slips into the top 12-foot. Damien asking Melissa now to hit and roll behind that corner guard she just threw.
Dwayne, yep. Yep.
And he's holding the line very well here.
Yes.
Yep. Whoa.
Good sweeping.
And he makes a nice double.
Shot.
Good plan B.
So he's asking Sean to hit this on the nose and sit right there. He does, I believe. Damien will have to do something with it. He can't afford to leave a rock sitting in such a controlled spot.
I think that's kind of Don's goal, is to keep Damien away from that corner guard.
It's a good throw, but I'm wondering if he was maybe just a bit quiet on the weight.
Just over curled a little bit, so it is going to give Dwayne now a chance to draw around.
Where? Yeah, I'm trying to kiss it.
Oh, I guess I figure it's a
Little
bit heavy.
heavy.
Just ever so slight brush on the guard, but the weight was just too much. Wow.
Pretty quick in that spot, I think. Barb saw a few go through the rings there in the first end too.
Yeah, I haven't heard them call out any times.
Yeah.
They, of course, they're, you know, two different styles of measuring the time here. They measure from the back line to the near hog line, and that'll give you a number somewhere around 3.9 or 4 seconds or better. And then they measure between the hog lines, which gives them a more of a running time. And that typically could be 14.5 or 15.5 seconds on really super keen ice. I wonder if they think that other red one is biting. Because he did take a close look at it, and that's when he called for that rock to be in the rings. It's hard to say. Our overhead view looks like it's not in, right?
It is close though.
Keep going. Okay.
Regardless, just trying to keep his other redstone away from the corner guards.
They would have loved to roll there, Rebecca, but I think this is a spot that they're still trying to figure out, because they got so many different results when they were throwing this way in the other end.
Danielle's going to get a crack in this spot now as well, so we'll see what hers does here.
I think they want to sit right there.
Good shot there from Danielle.
Control.
Kim's going to try this roll again.
Kim or Melissa. Hard.
On this, right out of her hand.
Hard, right to it. Hard, hard, hard.
Oh my.
Okay.
Just a little quiet, eh?
Yeah, I'm not sure if she maybe slid a little bit tight as well. They were sweeping right out of her hand. Interesting situation here for Team Bowser.
Yes, he's asking her to top it. Doesn't want to put a guard on it because it's really not in that good of a position. And perhaps the Villard team would draw around everything and set up a deuce. So it's a good call. She can top this to the tee line and improve their position.
Yes, try and roll her shooter a bit towards the center line, try and keep them far apart.
Yeah, this is going to be a little angle tap.
Just a bit too much weight.
Bit of a struggle with finding the proper draw weight so far in this game for Danielle.
Made this roll a little bit easier here for Kim's second stone.
Different spot here again.
Yep.
She gets it out a little bit, it will run really straight.
Dwayne, whoa, 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 whoa.
Looks pretty good.
She's close.
Houses are very lively, though. You get a lot of roll with a little bit of contact. Oh, they just missed the call there.
It's a little hesitant to sweep it, and it just finished quite a bit at the end. Good try.
Nice shot. Just a little tight. Threw it fine, just a little tight. I didn't want to clip that one and have it go too thin.
I like how the information he gives his team when he comes down. He's
very good at giving
tells them,
feedback.
why he you don't want to roll under. He explained that to them, that there's no advantage to rolling under here. This is a spot we've seen bust pretty good. Looks like at the end, Danielle was hoping for the little roll.
Switch gears a bit.
We should have air. Because I was like probably just hack in the first where I whittled and. Yeah, we'll play hack at it. Play hack. Playing for hack. Kind of, this is down the same path they threw in the first.
You can hear Danielle and Dawn talking, and he's telling her about how his rocks are going to run, because this is the first time they've played together.
Yes.
She was unavailable for the play downs, and he spared for Mike during their play downs, but she wasn't there.
Yes.
Julie Hastings played for them, so.
Dwayne.
It just didn't finish the way he hoped.
Just gonna sit right there. Some more good information there. Dawn's last stone here in the third end.
He's indicating that he got it out a little full there.
Like to keep his shooter in the rings.
So there'll be a blank attempt here by Team Villard.
Just draw. Straight draw.
Maybe that red one is in then, Barb. He's just drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Just draw. Just draw. 8 foot.
Oh, he's drawing. He's not hitting. Oh, that. Wonder if they think that other one is on.
I guess so.
Sure doesn't look like it.
Tough
We
for us
have an
to
overhead
tell
here
from back
from the
here.
cameras that the club has, and it sure doesn't look like it's on from here. But he would be hitting this and going for the blank if they weren't sitting too.
Okay.
So looking for full 8 foot.
Just need 8 foot. Just need 8 foot.
Lots of finish on that one there at the end, but he'll get it. Single point there for Team Villard. Going to tie this game up at 1 point each after 3 ends. So Team Bowser will get the hammer back heading into the 4th end.
And our updates on our other sheets. On sheet 1, Team Tuck have taken a huge steal. They now lead that game 4-0. over Team Bolton. And over on sheet 3, we're all tied up at 1 each. And that is between Corey Hegstead and Kathy Alt. And over on sheet 4, we have the game going on between Dave Collier and John Buke. And that, I can't really say, they're blocking it out. So 3-1 in favor of Team Buke. Yes.
Yes. So Melissa's going to start us off here, back on our feature sheet.
Okay, yeah, just touch center. Sure, that's fine.
Good shot there from Melissa. Lauren's going to get to play another come around here, so starting off a little similar to the second end.
It is, yeah. So Lauren's hobbies include playing with her dog Roxy. She would also like for us to send a shout out to, and planning their home renovations with Sean. She is her curling achievements include winning the Nationals, Canadian Mixed in 2017. Of course, we mentioned that with Mike Anderson, and she also 2016 and 2017 Ontario Scotties third place finish. So she's quite an accomplished curler.
Very good.
Where?
Melissa, quite accomplished as well. She represented Quebec at the 2014 Scotties.
Oh. Don't bounce it.
She played third for Allison Ross that year.
Nice shot.
And she would like to send a shout out to Bruce and Lori.
This is that spot that really curls.
They're on that early.
Looks like she's touched the guard. It's okay to do that as long as you don't remove it from play.
Control.
Here, the skip taking responsibility for that. He's telling her she threw it well, but that they need more ice. So that's a spot we've observed. Just this is only the second time we've seen the rocks come this way, and we've already noticed that as well.
Absolutely, it's a tricky spot.
Yep.
Damien asking Dwayne for a hit here. That just took off on them too.
Hard. Spin it. Okay.
That actually spun out of the rings.
Yes. So got that red stone and their own stone.
The double corner here to go around. That's a good situation for Team Bowser.
Yeah, they're happy they got that center guard into a corner guard, and now they're getting to draw behind it.
So Sean's hobbies include golf and playing pool. I guess he doesn't play with the dog. There's an unfortunate miss. Just came up a little light.
Yeah, that Yellowstone being a biter could affect them later on. Team Villard just splitting the house now.
Boy, both of these teams are just seesawing back and forth with the momentum.
Don't really have a choice.
Well, we're here in the Quinte Curling Club, and whatever they're cooking sure smells good.
Oh, it smells great. We were greeted by some lovely volunteers here when we got here this afternoon, and Aaron, I believe the club manager, is here, and they've all been great so far. So going to be a great week here at the Quinte Curling Club.
It always
Kim and
is,
Melissa
you know.
really having to sweep this. Sorry.
You know, we've been probably to a number of these events as well, and the volunteers and the home clubs, they just treat you like gold. It's really such a great experience.
Oh, they're so important to events like this. They wouldn't run without all these great volunteers, so we really appreciate all the hard work they put into these as well. Dwayne coming up just a bit short there.
Wow, he had a second chance at this shot, and it's really, really curling.
It is a bit of a tricky spot there off the line, and Don almost thinking that's hitting something on the ice that's doing it,
but his first one did the same thing, which is
tough to say.
It's a bit suspect. Perhaps just, you know, combination of weight, and perhaps he needs just a bit more ice in that path.
Dwayne.
Kim here with her first stone. She's a two-time junior super spiel champion. Big junior spiel out in the Ottawa area. Many bantam and junior provincial appearances as well.
So it looks like Danielle's going to draw around this. They really want to get one in there.
He's trying real hard for his two here.
Danielle's hobbies include aquafit, Zumba, and yoga. And she's got a really nice list of accomplishments. She's mentioned the 2018 Ontario Women's runner-up last year. She played against Holly Duncan in that game, and then the Duncan team took her as their fifth and / coach to the Scotties Tournament of Hearts in Penticton.
That was great to see. Those girls are all really close. Danielle and Holly played together a lot in their younger years.
Champions, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, from Laurier. So that was really nice to see.
She's also a 3-time Canadian mixed doubles finalist. So no wonder she says her life is curling.
Mine's pretty good. Where?
Aquafit. I might have to ask her about that, Barb.
Okay. It's in the curl. Yeah.
So she came up a bit light and Kim a bit heavy here now. Both teams really struggling with draw weight.
I'd help you.
The Skip's working together there to sweep that one through the rings.
So. These guards creeping closer into the center line, which isn't quite exactly where Team Bowser wanted to be with the hammer, but they're still trying to use them, generate some points.
Yeah, this should probably be, you know, like this is her second attempt at the same shot, so I'm expecting her to have made the adjustment that she needs for the weight. As we mentioned in the last ending, she's struggling a little bit with draw weight. This one's good, though. She's got full 8 foot. Maybe a piece peeking out.
Oh, Hawk. It's got to move in here. Because Dwayne's went, Lauren's went. So just be careful.
Yeah, they've rubbed on the guard a few times here, so Damien's just warning Kim that this is going to go.
Some good information.
This is where yours moved, and this is where Lauren's moved. So,
He's just passing along exactly the same information to his front end, so they should all be expecting some curl here.
Now Damien's the ice tech at the Galt Curling and Country Club, so I think his life's probably curling as well.
Pretty sure he got a lot of that experience in Renfrew. That's where he grew up, and that's where I know his name from.
He wanted to send a shout out to his mom and dad.
Nice.
So, hi Mom, hi Dad.
Good shot. Wasn't able to save the shooter, so the Bowser team will have a chance to draw around this center guard
a
again.
little farther out.
He could have put some pressure on them here, Rebecca, if he'd been able to save that shooter, and he has that other little biter over in the corner.
Sure would. Keeping 2 in the rings just adds that little bit of extra pressure on Team Bowser.
So Don Bowser has an interesting hobby other than golf, which you see a lot of curlers have golf as a hobby. His other hobby is gambling.
Oh, wow.
He's got a long list of curling accomplishments, silver tankard championships, OFSA. So he's an intermediate champion. He's a 7-time men's tankard participant. And he went to the pre-trials for Olympic pre-trials this year.
Yes.
This one's going to brush the guard. And his shout out goes to his fiancée, Lauren. And it was actually Danielle that added this to his feature sheet to keep him out of the doghouse. So hello to Lauren.
Yes.
Yeah, she extends, right? So still that 95-4.
Good chance to put some pressure on here from Team Villard.
So there is the first reference to time that I've heard since they started, and he said, is it still in the 95-4 range? So 3.95 seconds to 4 seconds between the back line and the near hog line. So that's pretty nice.
Speed. Yeah.
This is looking good.
Keep it above.
Just slip behind the tee line.
You hear a little bit of frustration in his voice. He was hoping to keep that in front of the tee line. It just allows Team Bowser to draw down to it to get their single.
2 feet later. Walk them warm. Get ready, Kim.
This is just cruising on down here.
They're hoping it's going to come onto that yellow stone. And it will. Nice shot there from Don Bowser for a single point here in the 4th end. So that will put them up 2 points to 1 against Team Villard as we head into the 4th end break.
So the format of this allows the teams to take a break after their fourth end, and so they're going to take a 5-minute break, and so we'll wait.
Flank or two, it's still early, right?
Good. Welcome back, folks, to our live coverage of the 2019 BrokerLink Mixed Championships here in the beautiful Belleville town right on the Bay of Quinte, and we're at the Quinte Curling Club. Our feature game has Team BOWSER taking on Team VILLARD, and we are being treated to a really good game. Rebecca scored 2-1 in favor of Team BOWSER.
Yes, it's been very close so far. Some interesting spots in the ice here today. Both skips are still, I think, trying to figure out some of those runs. They were just talking about it with each other at the break there, some of the stuff they're seeing out here on the sheet, and it's been really interesting to watch.
It has, and we've seen some of the paths just totally trick them. They're saying, the one skip is saying, I was here a few years ago and it wasn't like this, but as we know as curlers, yes, things change over the years.
They sure do.
So go with a few updates here while we're getting underway here. So on sheet 1, Team Tuck still continues to lead over Team Bolton. Score there is 4-1, and Team Tuck are threatening again here in the 4th. And over on sheet 3, Team Ald continues to lead over Team Hegstad. Score there 3-1, and over on sheet 4, Team Buke still leads 3-1, and they're actually back from their 4th end break.
Haven't posted the score yet.
Yeah, actually, it is posted. I was just blocked out. It's actually 4-1 in favor of Team Buke.
So some good games going on here so far this afternoon. See some guards up there here on our feature sheet. Lauren just attempting to come around the one she threw on her first one. Came up a bit light.
So as they continue to work to try to figure this sheet out, it's you know, the game's half over, and we're still seeing a lot of, you know, unsureness. Either weight, either over or under throwing their draws, or they're not totally picking up on the path, the draw path. They seem to have the hits figured out pretty good.
Yeah, I would say so. So Melissa's second stone here, coming around those 2 frozen red guards.
Him. Whoa, different weight. Even above the tee, Dwayne. Even above the tee.
So that's a very nice draw there.
Good shot there from Melissa.
Really late finish, eh? Like that cleared the guard by a foot.
It was way out there for a while.
Really nice weight control, though. It's sitting right on the tee line, and Team Bowser will snuggle down to that, I imagine. This one's really hanging out. Look at how wide that is.
Yeah.
It's just a difference in weight, you know,
exactly.
A little back 4.
Still finished a little bit, but just takes that little bit longer when you have the extra weight.
It really was only like a foot more, but it really, really hung out. So opportunity here. It's behind that staggered guard situation for Team VILLARD to set up a deuce here.
Where? Well then, just not here, eh? Yep. Whoa. Yeah, just want to make sure we got by that one.
Well, they're really getting fooled by this spot. Again, that was a hair heavy, but
interesting little pocket forming there.
I think the saving grace there was that yellow one bounced off a little bit. At least it's the rock on the tee line looks still pretty safe for now.
Just trying to draw another one in there. Those girls were on this right away.
And they're closing down the scoring area here really quickly. This is going to be short. Now there's a triple guard.
Yeah, just a little bit light. Guarded that other yellow stone.
So now yellow is sitting 2. And he's going to throw another guard up there. Good call here.
What else do you like? What else do you like?
I'm thinking that this would probably be a really tough spot to run a rock into if it's running so straight.
Here, it just gives them a bigger target. What? Not bad. But I think he's coming this way. I do like here. I just don't want it deep. Yeah, like play top 8, top 12.
Well, I'm thinking that's not an easy shot. That guard is about maybe 2 feet in front of the house, so I guess there's a little bit more room than from our vantage point here, but certainly don't want to set anything up here that will give Team Bowser a chance to
right now it's
to eliminate some yellows.
Yeah, we heard them throw out 3 or 4 different possibilities of where to place this rock because it's a bit tricky trying, again, not to leave something for Team Bowser, but
well
Dwayne
short.
coming up, yeah, quite short.
Now this is the shot I think is difficult, the run back when the line is so straight. I mean, I think he's got to put the broom like right on the rock.
Absolutely, yeah, he's not going to move much at all. Danielle Inglis.
She must have been a bit inside for him to call on the sweeping that quickly. Well done.
Very nice shot.
And buried, dead buried behind 3 guards. This is going to be a setup shot here for Team VILLARD. He's going to try and place something here that he can run in later. Great shot by Danielle. Take away
really
that
nice shot.
end that was shaping up so nicely for Team VILLARD.
That's even okay.
Kim here with her first stone. That's going to be an important rock.
Just looking for top 8. If it's here, whoa. If it's here, whoa. Right now it's the wing. Right now it's the wing.
When you hear the skip saying that, what he's referring to is that if there's any sweeping required, he would want the outside person sweeping this so as to generate some curl.
Yes, he didn't want them to have to sweep for line, but if they wanted to sweep for weight, he wanted Dwayne closer to the stone to try and make it curl a bit more.
So guard coming up here from Danielle. Want to protect that steel point they have right now, sitting right on the button, or sorry, in the full floor. So continuing with some updates here, Rebecca, on sheet 1, it looks like Team Tuck scored 3 and have taken a huge 7-1 lead over Team Bolton. And over on sheet 3, Team Hegstad have responded with a 3 of their own and now lead Team Alt by a score of 4-3. And we already mentioned the score on sheet 4. They were the first team to finish their 4th end, so it's 4-1 there in favor of Team Buke.
A few bigger ends on some of the other sheets so far.
Yeah, we've yet to see even a deuce on
yes.
our sheet. So nicely placed guard by Danielle.
Good shot. She came at it from the center line side.
Oh, did they?
Mm-hmm.
Good call. I guess they were worried it wasn't going to curl
Tricky
enough.
on that outside. Yeah. So Kim trying to play the run back.
Okay.
That over curls on her a little bit. She doesn't really accomplish anything with that shot.
Would have liked to try and separate those 2 red stones as well.
So advantage swings right back over to Bowser here. We'll have a couple of attempts here. I mean, it's really, Team Villard doesn't really have a way in at this point. Maybe an in-off off of that wide yellow guard. A little Hail Mary.
Yeah. That run back from Danielle really so key. Don Bowser, his first stone here, playing the 5th end. Just trying to put that guard back up.
And he's going to come right up to that situation here.
Yeah, a little deeper than where he wanted it.
Yeah, really a little high side on that rock he just put there, and he could get all 3 of these moving, I think. Big black marks on the ice are not good.
That's not what you want to hear, no.
So we have our first final. In fact, Rebecca, on sheet 1, Team Tuck have beaten Team Bolton by a score of 7-1, and they've quit after 4 ends.
Oh yeah, we thought maybe they were on their break, but oh.
Yeah, he was hoping to hit that thin, but not that.
Not that thin, exactly.
Danielle's just pointing out the only thing he has left is that in-off. And that would be for a possible 3. Yes. He does have a draw to the button for 1.
Yes, Don's initial call was to put that guard a little bit wider so it's in that draw path. I think that's what they've settled on.
I know you never want to give up a steal, but it's only 1 in this case. But, I mean, it would give the Bowser team a 2-point lead. And we mentioned that the score is 2-1 on our sheet, but they haven't posted the 4th end. And they're playing the 5th right now, so. So a guard here is going up, and it's not going to leave Villard much here. I think you can probably still get around that, though, Rebecca.
Might be able to get a piece of the button. Well, they're talking about their options on this little angle in. It's a tough shot, though. That's real tough. His draw for 1's no picnic either, though. Risk and reward, what would you do? Oof, I think I'd probably just try the draw. But yeah, that run back looks tough. Well, they're certainly giving it a good look over. Good look. You know, they have, we mentioned they have 30 minutes to play, and they can't afford to talk about this for too long. So I'm not really sure how much time they have left on their clock, but they're spending a few minutes talking about this shot. Yeah, definitely the most discussion on any shot we've seen so far.
So they're down to 11 minutes, and the BOWSER team have 14. So
looks like they've settled on trying the run.
yeah, talking about their options here, they're realizing that if they hit it too flush, it's just going to jam on that,
Exactly.
on that back yellow.
You can hit it wrong and send it back into your own yellow anyway. So
At least it's yellow, though. You know, it's their rock off of their rock. They're not promoting another red rock into the ring, so I think it's worth a try.
You should just run it where let it go.
Yeah, that's the thing. They haven't thrown any hits out this wide either. They've thrown many out turns, but they haven't thrown any in-turn hits here.
Normal. Even a little bit further. Because it might be bouncing it off our back.
So final stone of the 5th end here coming from Damien Villard.
See, Damien still throws with the hair broom, which are, you're allowed to use that style of broom as a delivery device, but that's it. You're not allowed to sweep with them anymore.
Ooh,
Oh my!
so
Great
close.
attempt. Just needed to curl a little more.
Really nice try. So it'll be a steal of 1 for Team BOWSER. They'll take a 3-1 lead after 5, so playing the 6th end. Team Villard going to carry the hammer over.
And as I mentioned, it's not always a great thing to give up a steal, but at least if you look at the good side of that, is it was only for 1. So
Exactly.
that's why I think it was good for him to try for that 3. There haven't been many opportunities in this game, so
No, they couldn't really hurt themselves much more than that steal of 1, so might as well try it. That end didn't start off too bad for Team Villard. They were sitting 2 at one point, trying to draw a 3rd stone in, and just in the matter of Dwayne coming up short on his last stone, and Danielle made that run back, and
yeah.
the end turned around so quickly for them. So they're going to try again here in the 6th end. Try and generate a multiple score here and tie this game up.
And it's been very back and forth. I just find that both teams continue to trade opportunities.
Certainly both teams have kind of missed on the wrong side of something a few times, given some opportunities. So Lauren came into the 12-foot on her first stone there, so we're seeing a corner guard attempt here from Melissa.
Try and get it somewhere in this line.
It's really curling, which we saw in this spot when Team BOWSER tried to make this play.
Certainly did.
So some of the interesting, the players gave us some information about themselves as we've been sharing with you, and Lauren's proudest curling moment was winning the nationals last year. It was really, and she put many exclamation marks after that. So I think she really enjoyed it. She's been with this team for 8 years, and they, with her husband Sean. So that's really great too, that they've managed to see their way clear to play mixed for 8 years.
Certainly that whole team is very close and worked really hard, so I know that was a great season for them last year, and they're so excited to be Team Canada.
Oh, imagine wearing the maple leaf. She wanted us to send a shout out to her parents, her mother-in-law, her uncle, and her brothers. Oh, and of course the dog.
Well, 12 line's good. Yep, get it here, get it here. Hurt. Hurt. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Right back, right back, right back. Nice shot.
That's a good shot.
Very nice rock there from Melissa. Made that yellow stone very difficult to remove.
This isn't a bad call. He's talking about maybe promoting that red one so that to get it out of the way, so that the yellow one can be, they can make a move on that yellow one later on.
Exactly, try and give himself a little bit more room.
And Sean's proudest moment is also winning that Canadian Mixed Championship title last year. And he would like to send a shout out to his nephew, Harry.
Want to try and get here? If you tap it a bit, it's fine.
So he just wanted to disturb that situation at the front of the house because that yellow one's pretty in there, pretty solid right now.
First rock here from Dwayne.
What does Dwayne have for highlights on his feature sheet?
One that sticks out to me. He won the Milton Turkey Spiel in 2016.
That's funny.
He also put for his hobbies that he loves salsa dancing, so we'll have to quiz him later on his moves and see if that's see how true that is.
Throw on some music, see what he does. That's funny. Pretty sure he participates. He comes to Ottawa for the Gord Perry every year, I believe.
Yes,
so that's a big year-end deal.
That's a great Ottawa spiel. I know Melissa, as well as her Quebec championship, also put winning the Gordy Perry back in 2015 with Rhonda Varnes, and I was on that team as well, so that's certainly one of my highlights. That's a really fun spiel.
Yes, it is. It's a good way to end the year. So they've guards out of play now. We're going to see if the rest of the end is going to be played in the rings, and the yellow rocks are starting to accumulate here.
They are. So Damien just trying to roll behind that little cluster there on the center line.
Whoa. Kim.
This looks strong.
Hard.
He's going to take out his own for sure.
Okay. All right.
Oh, that's too bad.
That's too bad. Interesting situation here for Don now. He is sitting 3. He's actually calling to throw a guard on that stone now, biting the side of the forefoot.
Yeah, even if they show just the little outside piece of it, there's no way that the VILLARD team would be able to hit and roll undercover. So it's a good call. I like this call. And then Danielle's proudest moment was also winning that mixed national championship last year. And she also mentions winning back-to-back Canadian University championships stands out as well. She says something interesting about herself is that she helped Kevin Martin send his first text message on his phone. Who knew? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great story.
She clarifies that this team, although it's been together for 8 seasons, Don's only been with them for a couple of games.
Got to make sure we score.
Seems to be fitting in just fine so far today.
Her shout out goes to family and friends watching and York urbanist, also known as Mark Inglis.
Yep. All right. Whoa, Dwayne. Hard.
Oh, that worked out pretty good.
Shot.
Not bad. Separated all those stones at the top of the house. Kept that yellow stone in a good spot.
And rolled under the guard with the other one.
Exactly.
Now red continues to sit too, but their yellow does have some opportunity shaping up here. So it looks like Danielle's just going to draw around that yellow rock that's sitting just outside the rings. But this one's going already as well.
Really trying to hold it.
She's not going to get the finish that she wanted. But she does take away that. Allows that run in, and perhaps will even make contact with this rock that's sitting at the edge of the 4-foot.
Yeah, depending where she hits this yellow one.
Try and run and roll.
It's the run and roll shot.
There you go.
Dwayne. Whoa.
Oh, well done.
Very nice.
Very well.
Great shot there from Kim. Got that rock off the 4-foot, kept the 2 yellow stones pretty well buried. Well, that guard is fairly high. Dawn's taking a look at it.
Do you think he can get this?
Make that double, I guess.
Do you think it will get propelled onto that back red biter?
I think I'm just trying to see the angles here, but I think he should go over top of it. Coming back down to have another look. Sticking with the same shot.
That one even came up quite a bit. It's like, okay, we'll just hold it there, and then it's like, it still came over like almost 4 or 5 inches.
So with his first stone, Don Bowser on it early.
Yeah, it's really close to the guard. Oof, man, that was close.
By.
Wow, and he sent the first rock he made contact with right in behind cover.
Jeez.
Kind of a good thing for for Team Villard.
Yeah,
It was way, way close to the guard, that shot.
tough break for Don. I think he kind of thought if he got by that guard, he was going to make that shot, but
To go around, it's a pretty
couldn't quite move that yellow
close
far
run
enough.
double, right? Speed still the same.
So we're not able to hear what Don is saying, but I imagine he's probably a little upset with that,
Like to the tee, right?
the outcome of that shot.
I would think so too.
This is a draw, into the rings, and probably twofold. He wants to draw the play away, probably from that run back, which looks like just a straight back run back, and he doesn't want to set up a double.
Just don't set up the double.
There you
You
go.
gotta go back with it. Go back.
Sweepers were hanging off of it. Like to get it even with that back yellow one
You
now.
can bury it. You can bury it.
Line's good. I don't think
Thought it was heavy.
Don would be able
Very
to see
nice.
it. That's a pretty good
Good
spot.
shot.
Makes the hit and roll very difficult. It's probably all he's got. He's not really looking at that run back. I guess it's just too risky. If he misses, if he were to miss it, he would give up a 3 here. So 2 isn't his worst nightmare. Don's proudest moment in curling, he says, is right now.
That's awesome. That's a
And,
great answer.
It's also, he wants to share with us that this is his last Ontario Provincial Championship, because he and Lauren have moved to Quebec, and from now on he'll be representing Quebec.
Wow. That's a big move. Lauren's been playing for Quebec for a few years now, but we'll be sad to lose him here in Ontario, but glad to see him joining her out there.
And this is
really
on the
trying to
guard.
get this by.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
it's on the guard, and he's set up an opportunity for Team Villard to score a big 3.
yeah, just a free draw to the 8-foot here for Damien for his 3rd point.
I think this middle is a little slower than when you get out to the wing, right?
He can throw exactly what he just threw. He can come down to his own and still get his 3rd point here.
Maybe I took a little.
Damien wanted to share his proudest moment in curling was playing in Colts provincials with his father, so
Oh, nice.
nice memory there. It's a big shot here for Dwayne trying to take the lead. Drawing
Damien.
for his, excuse me. Yes.
Dwayne will sweep it though.
Yeah. Big shot for the whole team.
Yeah, it'll get over there.
They haven't had to sweep it at all, so that's good. They're fine.
That's one way to do it. Good shot there from Damien. So they'll take 3 points here in the 6th end to take a 4-3 lead over Team Bowser. So Team Bowser going to have the hammer play in the 7th end.
And on their other sheets, Rebecca, the Team Hegstead have pulled ahead of Team Ald by a score of 6-3. And over on sheet 4, Team Buke continue to lead by a score of 4-3. They blanked the 6th. And so there are a couple of good games, including our own.
Absolutely.
That was quite an unexpected 3 there. That
That was a big turn.
it happens fast, eh?
It sure does. Kind of the same with the steal there. And the 5th end crept up on them a little bit, and I think that 3 crept up on Team Bowser a little bit as well.
Yeah, really. When Don threw his first rock, he was, hoping to make a double and sit 3.
Exactly. They were sitting 3 there at one point during that end.
But it's 2 ends to go, and anything can happen.
Sure can. That's why we love this game so much.
It is the first game of this 7-game round robin that they play here. The format of this event continues to be the round robin. You know, they changed the Ontario Scotties and Tankard in the past year, and changed it to a modified triple format, triple knockout. So, but these other events continue to be the round robin format. So you get to play everybody, and curling is such a social game that I think everybody likes that.
Certainly.
About the round robin.
Yeah, it's nice to get to play against everyone.
There's an argument to be made about the triple knockout, in that at least you can go home when you're out. You know, once you're eliminated from the possibility of winning, you can go home. But in this event, you have to stay till all the games are played. So
exactly.
So there's some
pros
and cons.
and cons, exactly. Some of those teams, once in this type of event, when they're out of contention, they're kind of playing spoiler for some of the teams that may be on the cusp, and certainly makes for an interesting event as well. So we'll see how things start to shape up here as we continue along.
So a corner guard, and Team Villard went around that corner guard, which is, they're a little bit deep, so it set up an opportunity here for Team BOWSER to come down to it and be shot.
Nice shot.
It's a perfect shot. Stayed above the tee line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well done.
Set up an angle so that if they try to make a pass at it, it's going to jam on the back yellow.
It's a nice spot.
So it looks like it just called for the corner freeze here. Let's try and limit the scoring here. Doesn't mind giving up one. Doesn't want to give up more than one.
Yeah. Sure, he's quite all right giving up one. Come home the final end, tied up with the hammer. It's never too bad of a place to be.
Let it keep trying.
No, if you drew it out, that's what you'd want, right? Tied coming home with the hammer. Or up 3 or 4.
That works too. Just rolled off a little bit there.
So advantage swings back over to Team BOWSER here. This has been quite a straight spot. It's not.
There it goes.
Nicely done. Gets a little flip under the guard.
Very good shot.
Run it or peel it. Try and run it onto here.
So Damien's had enough of this going around this guard. He's going to run it into the pile.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to do anything.
They set it out a little bit. And he got rid of the guard, so it's not all bad.
Struggled to give up a deuce here.
Yeah, so you heard Damien.
He's starting to get a bit concerned.
Yeah. He's very patient, though. I find that, you know, even when things don't look the best, he's very patient with his shot calling. He doesn't panic.
Absolutely. Sean now with his second stone.
They'll be wanting to put this guard back on. It's way out there, though. It's got to curl a mile. I think they probably got enough finish there.
Just enough.
Might be available on the outside.
Yeah, either or. I'd really like to get rid of this one.
See about half of the top red.
Up. Still normal.
See just a little bit more than that, the one Kim's trying to hit here, this middle one.
She'll take the back yellow with her. I don't even know if she can save the shooter.
Hard. 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 Nice shot.
Oh, she
Just-
actually
just
avoided
picked
it.
it. Yep.
Yeah. Good shot. Still pretty good shape here for Team Bowser. They have a guard out front, a half-covered rock in the forefoot, and I imagine this one he wouldn't be upset if it rolled a little bit to the wide side and might come into play at the end of the end.
Yeah, try and keep it out in the wing there a little bit.
Right now it's backing for, to take away there. This is curling.
Wow.
Wow, she just got by that front one. Look at that. Danielle's had a good game. She's made some really nice setup
She
shots.
has.
Yeah. So it's run back time here again.
Hard. 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 Whoa, 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 whoa. Roll it off. Roll it off. Roll it off. Roll it off.
Just gonna make the peel.
So they'll guard it up again. It's looking pretty good here for a 2 for nice comeback 2 for Team Bowser. Well, she's urging them on.
Yes. Good sweeping.
That's pretty good.
Nice shot.
Well, Damien's not giving up. He's going to run it back again. Big shot here.
Sure is. Damien Villard, his first stone.
Well, oh my, that was just exchanged, just moved them around a little bit. Left red sitting 2.
Yeah, he opened them up a little bit, but probably would have liked to eliminate one of them from the house, but
The freeze is in play for, like right now, Donnie can't cover both of them.
exactly.
There's a hit and roll on that one. There's a freeze on that one. There's a freeze on the back one.
Opened up a few options for sure.
He's still in pretty good shape, though. He may be playing a little draw tap here to maybe roll under and perhaps just push his own out to the wings a little bit.
I think so. Possibly just a straight draw as well. I'm not
True
sure.
enough. That would be good too, actually. Was it like guard? Well, he's coming right in. That's a pretty good shot.
Bit of a tap, yeah.
Oh, he's not giving up here, is he? He's thinking he can get 2, possibly all 3 of these.
Yeah, there's certainly a double there. He's just
maybe he's been watching Nicholas Edin.
Yeah.
So you heard him say he wants to hit about half a rock. He means he'll lose his shooter, but I guess he doesn't care about his shooter at this point. He's staring 3 down right now.
Exactly, trying to remove as many red stones as he can.
It's a good word. Clean's a good.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Well, he got rid of 2.
Made the double.
Good. I'll take that. Draw for 2 for Team Bowser, but it's not the end of the world. He'll only be down 1 coming home with the hammer for Team Villard. It's a small victory considering that he was looking at that big 3 spot there.
It could have been worse, exactly. So here he is, Don Bowser, final stone here in the 7th end.
Draw for 2. All he needs is a piece of the paint.
Sweeper's just cleaning it in there. Nicely done. So that will be a score of 2 for Team Bowser. And they'll take a 5-4 lead as we head into the final end here. But Team Villard will have the hammer. So going to be an interesting finish here to our first draw of play.
It's been a great game so far. Lots of shots made, lots of shots missed. It's a typical opening kind of game, but at least they haven't had those the lopsidedness that we've seen in some of the other games. And speaking of the other games, on sheet 3, the Team Alt scored in the 7th end, but they just haven't posted how many they took. So I'll update you on that when we see it. And over on sheet 4, Team Hegstead continue to lead there by a score of 5-3 over Team Collier.
Team Butte leading.
Oh, sorry.
So Lauren Harrison going to start us off.
So what do you prefer? Up 1 coming home with or down 1 coming home without?
Ooh, the all-important question. It's changed, honestly, throughout my career. I find it really depends on the team that you're on, and you kind of try to play to your strengths as a team. Some teams are really good at stealing points, and they don't mind having to do that in the last end. They like having that pressure on. Other teams perform better with the hammer. I think the stats are with you usually when you have the hammer in the last end, so you never want to turn that down,
but even when you're up 1, you can still play it like you'd play if you were down 1. You can play for the steal, and
exactly.
Sometimes that works. Just so that the other team doesn't get 2. If you're trying to get 1, sometimes it. If you play hard to get 1, then it's a way of preventing the other team to get 2. Yeah.
Even when you're up 1, you sometimes have to be fairly aggressive.
So it looks like Team Alt scored a single in the 7th end, so that game. The score is 6-4 in favor of Team Hexted. So they're going to try and put this rock in a place that's good enough for them to guard it for the rest of the end.
It's getting real close. And it is on the button, so Team VILLARD choosing, they can't really use that corner guard when that redstone's in such a good place, so trying to freeze on it, set something up.
Looks pretty good if it has the weight. It definitely has beautiful line. Looks like they figured that spot out, Rebecca.
Yeah, I think so, eh? 8th end. Very nice shot.
Better late than never, right? We're going to see a series of rocks here grouped around the forefoot. See, now this one it's back in that spot where it curls. They're calling out back 8 weight. Wow, that worked out pretty darn good for Bowser.
Not bad. Kept his reds nicely lined up on the center line there, but yellow sitting second shot.
I liked his first call because control weight, at least there's more chance of you saving the shooter, and you need a few rocks in play here.
Trying not to jam on their own in the house. That really curled.
That was a really aware sweeping call.
Yes.
Knowing that the angle was such that it could have been promoted right onto their own stone. That would have left red sitting 3. Now Donnie's going to ignore this yellow rock and continue to guard his nice steel situation here. Oh, this is really curling. Might have had a little assistance when the handle was being put on here.
Quite light. Dwayne now with his second stone trying to move these reds around a little bit.
Now might not be the worst time to roll behind his corner guard.
Certainly not.
Oh, that's a good shot.
That's still pretty good, yes. Got that one off the button, which was really important.
It's going to be a really great finish here to our game.
It sure is.
So we have another final over on sheet 4. It looks like Team Buke have defeated Team Collier. They didn't post the 8th end, but it was 7-5. Sorry, 5-3. And they're off the ice now, so I'm just assuming that Team Buke pulled it out.
Danielle here with her first stone. Again, sweeper's on it right away.
Actually threw the other turn.
Yeah. Great sweeping.
And it looks like we have another final. Team Ald have been run out of rocks, and Team Hegstead will win that game by a score of 6-4. So just our feature game left out here on the ice. Looks like Damien's a big believer in directional sweeping.
He certainly uses it a lot. Rolls into the button.
It's a really good, decent crowd out here watching this first draw of this championship event, and the rest of the curlers for the senior part of this competition are arriving. So there's quite a crowd here around us here at the Quinte Curling Club.
Yes, it's grown quite a bit.
So it leaves Danielle's first stone leaves yellow sitting. Oh, I guess it's her second. Sorry, it leaves yellow sitting 1. Needing 2 to win the game.
Kim just being asked to draw the open side now. Well, somewhat around her yellow guard there. She does have to stay in the forefoot to be second shot.
It's looking a little strong here. Now they're calling the sweeping so that they can make contact with that red stone.
It's quite heavy.
She would have been through the rings, I think.
Plan B.
Yeah. It worked out for her. She did have that rock to come down to, so leaves Team Bowser with a hit and roll in behind a long center-ish guard. More of a corner, right? Well, it's about a foot from center. It looks like Damien, worst case, will have a shot for the tie. But anything can happen with 4 rocks to come. We haven't really seen that many takeouts in this path. I'm trying to think if we've seen any, in fact.
Yeah, most of them have been further out into the wing or closer into the center line. So.
Or the other turn, yeah.
Yeah.
This is just nice, quiet. Just board type weight, very nice. It's mostly open, I think.
Yeah, he didn't quite get the roll.
Oh, looks like we're going to have a timeout called here for Team Villard.
He was down to less than a minute to throw his 2 stones. So.
Yeah, this isn't really about a strategy
exactly.
Conversation. It's more about just getting, making sure he doesn't have the pressure of throwing with no time on the clock. And the clock will continue to run. while he's going through his preparation mode, even though they're in a timeout, you are allowed to throw in your timeout.
Looking to get a bit more of a roll under. It's just hanging out there a bit.
Yeah, it is. It's really...
Didn't curl much at all. Nice try, though.
And now the timeout being called by Team Bowser here. For the same reason. I think they're very close on time as well.
They've still got about 2 minutes.
Oh, do they?
But they're just choosing to talk about this.
Yeah, it's a big shot. They can't get shot stone by playing the top yellow. You know, do they hit and roll? Do they freeze? What would you do here, Rebecca?
I think they're looking at this hit and roll on shot stone in the back 4 foot. I don't mind that. The freeze is a little tough.
I like the tap. I like the tap only because then they're not looking at a loss. So if they remove a yellow rock here, you know, the VILLARD team have to be able to get to their rock. So I think they went with your preference, which is a hit and roll. Now they need to roll, though. They can't just sit there and give it to them.
Exactly. So trying to roll in behind that long red guard.
It will leave a bit of an angle tap for Team VILLARD, but at least it won't be a wide open hit.
Final rock here in the 8th end, Don Bowser.
It's curling on them. Oh, is it going to roll too far? No, it. Wow.
Ooh. So yellow still shot.
You know, they swept it all the way, though. They did everything they could.
They did. They still just overrolled it.
It just, you know, they could have maybe got off a second earlier, but it really looked like it was going out of his hand.
It did. Off the line like that sometimes. You're a little afraid.
You know, we already talked about this is their first game together, Danielle and Dawn. So, you know, there's a bit of a learning curve there and for releases and.
Absolutely. So it's a draw here.
For the win.
Absolutely. Needs a piece of the 4 foot, Damien VILLARD.
Wow, they got to work this one.
They're really on it.
I think it's short. Oh, my.
They're still dragging it.
No,
wow.
It's short.
Wow. So it'll just be 1 point for Team VILLARD, so we're heading into extra end.
So they get a bit of a break here. They get a 3-minute break between ends. And then they'll reset the clocks for an extra end, and it will be Team Bowser with the hammer.
Sure will. Tough break for Team VILLARD there.
Okay, so we're back here, Rebecca, at the Quinte Curling Club for an extra end in our first draw of the first
So
game.
exciting. Yeah, really interesting game here for our first draw. Tough break for Team VILLARD there. Always nice to have a draw to the 4-foot there in the 8th end, and I'm sure it's a bit bitter to swallow that one, but they're going to try and rally back here in this 9th end, and they're going to have to steal now for the win. Team BOWSER with the hammer here as we play the extra.
So they're just resetting the clocks here now, and we'll be underway momentarily here, but a well-played game by both teams. Certainly that big 3 by Team VILLARD that came out of nowhere in the 6th end, and then the nice steal by Team I mean, Donnie made his, kind of missed his last shot but by rolling a bit too far, and then was handed the golden.
Certainly.
Came up a bit short, so it's a bit of frustration here. These guys want to get underway, but we're just having a little bit of a few clock issues here, and they certainly don't want time to be an issue, so they need to get it reset.
Absolutely. About 4.5 minutes, I believe, for the extra end. Each team will have.
And one timeout, I guess.
Yes.
It's different with the timeouts in when there are no coaches. So as soon as they signal to the timekeeper that they're going to take a timeout, the timeout starts. So they get a minute to chat about either strategy or get ready to throw a rock in the case of Damien's case. Now, I wonder if that was a factor. With his last run.
It can put some pressure on a thrower for sure to be under a time crunch, and as much as when you're in the hack you try and reset, push all that stuff out of your mind, sometimes it can creep in, so you never know.
And I wonder if not everybody's timed on a regular basis, so does a person even know how long their prep takes? So going through their routine, cleaning their rock, getting set, visualizing the shot, all that good stuff. Does a person know if 50 seconds is enough?
Certainly. Some people that may take 30 seconds, some people it may take 45. Everyone's delivery is different, so that's a good point.
Looks like we have the tick shot attempt coming up here.
Yeah, it was a nice tight 3 there from Melissa.
Oh, it's really big weight, though. And you have to hit it so thin when you're playing that kind of weight. It almost got to nose.
Yeah. So free guard zone, that rock will go back up. You can't remove any stones in the free guard zone for the first 4 rocks of the end.
And next year, 5.
Yes, big changes.
How bizarre is that going to be?
It's going to be pretty interesting.
So, the tick shot, either live by it or you die by it, right?
Certainly.
So it's wonderful if you make it. You can, in that case, I think they probably would have pushed the rock into the rings.
Yes.
Because it's so tight to the circles. But, it's, do you go around it and get to the 4-foot first, or do you try and make, unless you practice that tick shot, it's very, very difficult.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say, especially for these teams. Dawn doesn't really see these players throw very often, and the tick shot is very difficult to call as the line caller and where to put the broom down. It's very difficult, and the teams that are so good at making them, the Lisa Weekles of the world, they practice that shot every single day. So for these teams that are, especially on this sheet where they're just coming together, it is a tough shot to make.
And this one is coming in a little hot. And will settle in the very back 12-foot. So opportunity handed over to Team VILLARD with those 2 beautiful center guards.
Yes, very well done. Got a bit of separation between them.
And a chance here to bury one in the top 4. Looks like it's all there.
Hanging out a bit there as well.
It's a great looking shot, except I think it's all there. It's going to be back 4.
Yes, that one's sliding a bit deep as well. Great line, just slid a bit too deep.
As we've mentioned, it's such a tricky spot because if you get into the curl too early, just makes a dive to the center line.
Certainly. Very weight sensitive by the looks of it. These ones that are hanging out there longer tend to be a bit heavier, and if you're a bit light, they're curling soon. So
great double peel
very
there.
Nicely done.
But Team Villard have, as you just heard him say, it's not important to guard this stone. It's more important about having a good center guard. Sometimes you focus just too hard on protecting a rock that's, yes, it's in the 4-foot, yes, it's in a good spot, but is the button available? Yes.
Exactly.
So, could you put a better one in there? Yes.
Having a go on this for weight.
Mm-hmm. That's a long guard.
Wow.
I think he's going to have to play it, though. This is looking a little full. Oh, my. Oh, just ever so slightly.
Just ticked it over to the side there. Got it out of the way, though.
It'll give them a chance, Team Villard, a chance to put a better guard up here. And I'm sure they'll continue on with this till right through to Skips Rocks, most likely.
Yeah, they're just going to keep guarding. Looking for a miss from Team Bowser.
It's probably the ice conditions have changed a little bit with them being the only game out there now.
It's possible the ice can tend to flatten out a bit, stiffen up.
And he asked for it beside the other red guard, which he's hoping maybe he'll jam into that and leave something out front.
Nice peel there from Danielle.
Oh, another center guard coming up here. This one looks like it's hanging out a little bit.
This one's a little bit deeper, I think.
It makes its way to center, and it's perfect.
Good shot.
And Team Bowser will just continue to peel this off. So Damien, what do you think he's going to do here? Throw a guard with his first and then perhaps something in the top 8 with his second?
I think so. I would guard on the 7 rock as well, I think.
You would guard a rock in the back 4?
Well, I think Don's probably going to peel it. You think he would throw the freeze?
No, I'm wondering about his second rock.
His second rock.
Damien's second.
I would draw in on
Yeah,
the, I would draw
yeah.
in on the 8 rock, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Try and make that draw really tough. You might entice him into trying to throw the double, and then if he jams on that back red one.
Yeah, and put it somewhere where if he hit it, he wouldn't be shot. Lots of things to consider. He's going to try and force Team Bowser to draw with his last, I think.
Yeah.
And depending on where he puts his last one, he may have taken away the in-turn draw on that one side with that guard that's still sitting out there. Looking for this one to be a little tighter by the looks of it. Looks like they're looking for maybe something just short of the rings. Wow, so interesting.
Interesting spot, yeah. Team Bowser just talking about whether or not they want to hit that yellow stone in the back 4 foot. Looks like they've settled on that. Force Damien to be the one to throw the draw. Try and draw around that guard he just threw.
Yeah, often if you have a chance to hit, you really should, right? It's exposed, so even if he were to nose it, that wouldn't be the greatest thing, but if he was to hit and roll off a bit, then it would have to be, decision time for a team in Villard. Do we draw around that center-ish guard? Okay. So he's left the button available.
Yeah, sat right on the back of the button.
So they're planning on playing a little tap and roll here, just to make that draw. He'll be probably right on the tee line. I mean, even if he was to corner freeze on this.
Exactly, if you were frozen right on the nose of that red stone.
I don't think he needs to move it. In fact, if he moves it, he leaves like a peel.
Yeah. He's got to roll his shooter far enough over that he can't pick it, and then that leaves the button open.
Yeah.
So, last shot here from Damien Villard.
No, this is way out there. I think he might be on the guard.
Yeah, he's just a bit too much weight.
Yeah, just got out into a wide path.
Good game here, though. Our first feature sheet going into an extra end, but it'll be Team Bowser coming out 6-5 against Team Villard.
So that concludes our coverage of this afternoon's game. Please join us again at 9 p.m. for our live coverage of Draw 2. Our feature game will be between Team Ald and Team Tuck. On behalf of Rebecca and myself and the entire TSL crew, thank you for joining us.